Hi, today I'm going to show you how to make a string of paper rose fairy lights. To make these you're going to need some paper, of course, mine's some old books, and really you just need some roughly cut squares of paper. They don't need to be exact, just take out some pages, fold them in half and cut, and you're going to need 3 pieces for each rose. You're going to need some PVA glue, and I'm hoping mine is going to work properly this time. You need some battery operated fairy lights, indoor ones, and it's important you need this type, not the copper string variety. You can get these on Amazon or on eBay, and I'm also going to be putting together a kit which will come with these included. You need scissors, of course, and for this you're going to need a glue gun. So we start off just like we did if you've made my other paper roses. Fold your bit of paper in half, half again, and then in half diagonally, and then you're going to cut your petal shape. If you want to, you can draw this out in pencil first, but I've done, well, it must be well over 100 of these roses, so I'm not going to bother with that. And we get our 3 layers. Next, just as before, you're going to cut out 1 petal shape from one flower, 2 from the next, and these are quite easy to do because you're just following those fold lines, and then 3 from the final piece you have. Now these 2 smaller pieces you don't need, so they can go into your recycling. The reason we don't use those is that because we're making ones to go on to the lights, if you use those 2 smaller ones, don't give you enough room to get the lights into them. So there's 1 piece along the edge. This one, 3 sections, you just glue along the edge. These ones you need to put glue along most of 1 petal. Let me just encourage this glue again. Right, there we go. So okay, back again with another, it's the same kind of glue, it's just a smaller one, and I must admit this is the size that I find easier. So I'm now on the 3 larger sections, just putting glue over the whole of 1 petal section. Okay. Now this first one, we're just going to overlap a little, like this. There we are. Press it down firmly, and you can just see we've still got 3 petals. With the other ones, we're just going to overlap 1 complete petal section. So it's 1, 2, and providing your glue is behaving itself, these don't take long at all to make. So now you've got those 3 layers of your rose assembled, you just need to shape your petals. I tend to do this with my fingers because for me that's the easiest way, but you can use your fingers, just roll the paper down between them. You can use a pencil, the end of a paintbrush, anything you've got to hand really, just to help you get that curve. So that's one done, and I'm just going to quickly do the next two sections. And I'm sure you can see, if you have done my previous roses, and which again, they are available as a kit in my shops, both on Etsy and my website shop, Paper to Pearls. You'll be quite used to doing this, and it's like everything, the more you do, the quicker you get. And I'm just doing this fairly quickly now, just so that we can move on. If you're familiar, you can always just fast forward this bit or pause it if you're a bit slower. So now they're all rolled over, I now need to cut a small hole at the base of each rose. Now, because this time our roses are going to be going onto or over a light bulb rather than onto a stem, these do need to be slightly bigger, but you don't need to worry too much, because in the next stage I will show you what we do to make sure we can get these onto our lights. So again, using glue, we're just going to put some glue around the bottom of one, like so. We insert that, and then we just repeat the same thing for each layer of the rose. And obviously this, if you have done my other ones, this is again a bit different because we're not building up the layers over the light. Okay, and then there's the last one, and we just need to push it well together. And then, so that we can get it on over the light bulb, we need to very carefully just push through to make a hole down the middle of your flower. You can use a pair of scissors if the tip isn't too big. You could say you can use a paintbrush, a pencil, whatever you've got to hand, and just very gently, if you don't make it too big, you're just going to push through like that so that you've got that hole, and then you can just decide you might want to make it a bit bigger. Okay, so, and I usually trim off any bits like that just to help. I think that's going to be a little bit too narrow. So, and then you can see I've already got some rose on here. You're going to carefully just push that rose onto the light bulb. Now, I always put all my roses on and allow them to dry before I do the final section. Now, obviously, sometimes just the glue alone will be enough to hold them in place, but you can't guarantee that. So what I do is just carefully go around the base of the rose with some glue. And I'm just do a couple, because there is something you can do which just helps to neaten it up, but as I don't want you to burn your fingers, you do need to let the glue just cool down a bit first. And that is, once it's started to cool, just push it down like that, run it between your fingers, and you'll get that really nice finish. Obviously, you will also get glue on your fingers. Here's another one. Touch it gently first, just to make sure it's still not too hot. And I think probably I could have left these ones just a little bit longer. But again, you just roll it on. That gives you, and then you just carry along the same on all of them. So I'm just going to leave these again a little bit longer to cool down. But that is how you make your origami or your paper rose lights. You can use PVA glue for this final section. I just find using a glue gun easier, and if you like you can also put a little dab of the glue gun glue just there in the centre to help hold your rose in place. So there you are. Your paper crafting rose fairy lights. So happy crafting, and I'll see you soon with how to make an origami crane mobile. Bye.